762300.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. We'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is offering some huge holiday discounts from now until January 2nd. On select new Chevrolet vehicles, we are offering $8,000 off MSRP or 1.9% financing. Yes, you heard right. That's $8,000 off or 1.9% financing on select new Chevrolets. We also have some huge discounts on our new GMC inventory, so stop on in or check us out online at koppelcars.com. Includes finance, trade, and Costco bonus with roof credit. Stock number C299464.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
A happy new year from us to you. Welcome into another year of On the Block. I'm Austin Norman, joined as always by the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Erick Strickland. Stricky, welcome back to town. It is good to see you, my friend. How is your 2024 started?
Well, you know, Austin, it's off to a good start. Got a lot of things we need to take care of, especially. But we're here. We've made it. 2024. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
And my Marlon Brando.
I appreciate you leaning into all of this. That has really made my day. So thoughts and prayers for Stricky's voice.
Oh, man. Oh, is it OTB? Is it Austin? What is the new? Tell the folks about it.
Yeah.
Man.
So we're trying something new. Instead of me and or Strick tweeting the lineup every day from our personal accounts, we're going to have a more kind of inclusive, holistic, on the block Twitter account. Everything you need for On the Block. The daily rundown of the show, clips and articles that we'll be talking about, show highlights and clips from the day before or the day of, all in one spot for you. If you go to @OnTheBlock937. Again, @OnTheBlock937 on Twitter. That is your one-stop shop for everything. And everything, I mean everything, that Strick and I are talking about. We'll get to that here in just a sec with Teach Tape Tuesday. I've posted the clips that we're going to be talking about to that Twitter account. Again, @OnTheBlock937. Our goal is to hit 50 followers here by the end of the week. So we want to be one of those first 50, be in first, be ground level. Might even follow a few of you back if we know you're super fans of the show and of 93.7 The Ticket. So again, @OnTheBlock937. Give Strick and I a follow on Twitter as well, @estrick20 and Austin_Orman while you're at it there. And if you have any thoughts on anything we're talking about throughout the show here, let us know. 402-465-5685. I'm out of practice after just a few days away. That's all right. We're going to jump right into it here, Strick, with Teach Tape Tuesday and the college football playoff, starting with the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all. Michigan 27, Alabama 20. We'll get to more of a recap later in the show, but a couple plays that stood out to me. First of all,
I hate that I can't find it, but I'll come and look at it. Go ahead.
That's okay. I promise it's there. I will send it to you here.
Yeah, because for some reason I cannot find it, and it's it's unbelievable how my computer sometimes acts, Austin. It doesn't want to act right. I need to put it on punishment sometimes.
Understandable. The first play that I want to talk about, Strick, was, I guess, two plays. The overtime runs by Blake Corum. 2 plays in overtime, and Michigan's in the end zone because of Blake Corum. He is a stud. And Strick, what I saw from him, especially on that last touchdown run, 2 jump cuts, great patience, right? Cuts back against the flow of everything. You see the acceleration after the cuts. You see the explosion, the patience, and then the toughness to finish the run, right? It's hard to score when you get inside the red zone or close to the red zone, especially against a defense, the caliber of Alabama's. But that Michigan run game in the biggest moment made it look easy. And I think that's just because Blake Corum is that special of a back, and that offensive line has been that good for so long.
Yeah. What I was impressed by is they stayed true to form.
Mhm.
Like, they didn't do anything that I love the creativity. Let me just say that. That's one of the things that I talked about with Nebraska for so long, is that it was bland. But what I
Right.
was seeing from them, like, for example, the one play where they had literally Blake Corum, the first touchdown he had, they had two people open, because what they did is misdirection action. They had a jet going the other way, and they ran Corum straight out of the backfield,
Mhm.
because guess who? They read man coverage. So the linebacker on the strong side was the one that had to cover. They gave him some eye candy going away. Safeties have to then figure out what's going to be going on that way. And they had two people wide open going opposite with misdirection. Those are the things that I've always wanted to see with Nebraska. We're not, like, Michigan can do that. Michigan can literally line up and say, we're coming downhill. What you going to do with us?
Nebraska can't do that.
They can't do that. So they have to give more eye candy to people. And I just didn't see that creativity. And that, I will say, that's what most impressed me. Defense was phenomenal, because they really got after Milroe in the first half.
Did they ever?
And when you look at the second part of it, is they really, really, really just stayed solid. They didn't come at him in the same manner, because they knew one of the best adjustment teams in the country consistently is Alabama. And so you don't want to give them a lot of the same stuff that you gave them in the first, because they will take it and exploit that. So, yeah.
The next play from that game, Strick, Alabama's possession in overtime, the 4th and goal stop.
Yeah.
The first thought I had was, that is so uncreative. That is so unimaginative. What are you doing, Bill O'Brien? What are you doing, Alabama? But here's the thing, Strick.
Look who the OC is. Oh, I'm sorry.
The view from behind the play from the opposite end zone shows you it might have worked, except two things. Number one, bad snap. Milroe had to go down and get it, threw the timing off a little bit. And then on the strong side of the play, the hole was to the weak side, right? If Milroe is able to catch the snap and bounce it to the around with the pulling guard or tackle to the left, that's one thing. Josiah Stewart, transfer from Coastal Carolina, of all places. All 245, 250 pounds of him, gets up, under, and into the 5-star tackle, J.C. Latham, blows him up, knocks him into Milroe, knocks Milroe down, ball game over. We saw that a few times straight. I mean, we had this issue with Nebraska and Cam Jurgens for a while with the bad snaps. I don't know if Milroe panicked or didn't see it. Maybe if he goes left, he has to fight his way in, and there's a shot for him there. I'm going to credit Michigan for blowing that play up, because even with the bad snap, Milroe had a chance at it.
Yeah, there's no question. I was just totally impressed, because they, say what you will about them. I was impressed all the way around, because teams in the past would have wilted, would have folded, but they truly believed they were them. They were the ones. Like, most people would have been, coming into it like the aura of what this game was, but they did not the whole time. And so shout out to JJ McCarthy as well, just being solid, not trying to overdo anything, and guys just making basic plays. And even shout out to Milroe. I thought, he did pretty well. I mean, I just think there was instances with penalties, which Michigan being one of the least penalized teams in the country, like, don't even games with no penalties. So that's the discipline that was created in them. Whereas on the other hand, you saw false start penalties, lack of discipline, a couple of, unsportsmanlike type situations and stuff like that. So That could be part of the difference as well in that game.
The one penalty I thought was going to come back and bite Michigan was the block in the back on Roman Wilson when Corum has space to run down the sideline. You want to do basically that whole game. Yeah, you get a first down, you keep the chains moving. But that wasn't ideal for Michigan, obviously. Let's move to Washington, Texas, and then there's a kind of an overall takeaway from both games that I think works well in Teach Tape Tuesday because Nebraska's had issues with it in the past too, but we'll get to that in a sec. Texas, Washington. You have the Huskies up 34-21 at the end of the third quarter. Texas ran 5 plays in the third quarter, Strick. Then here come the Longhorns. They start gashing that Washington defense on the ground. They move it down to field goal range, kick the field goal, kind of get the stop, don't really get the stop, sort of get the stop, but they get the ball back with like 45 seconds to go, slinging it downfield. The difference in this game was Washington saw a play once and then adapted. Texas throws that quick goal line fade up to A.D. Mitchell, who has now caught a touchdown in 5 straight college football playoff games, which is just unreal. That's insane. A perfect throw from Quinn Ewers over the top. You see Mitchell kind of jump too early, but have the hang time to still reach out and snare it. They go back to that well again on the final play of the game. Elijah Jackson, the cornerback for Washington, not in great position. Drake, he was about 5 yards off of Mitchell when the ball was thrown, but he breaks there quick enough. Smack, like Dikembe, Giannis sort of get that out of here. Doesn't give Mitchell a chance for it. The first throw from Ewers was on the money. Perfect. Spot on. If Ewers throws that ball to the front pylon, Texas might have tied that game up and had a chance to win it.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's the one thing about that moment. That moment right there that you're talking about, you're speaking of, it's one of those moments that every freaking young man, young woman dreams about. They have these dreams, of sugar plums dancing in their heads of those types of moments. There's 2 outcomes in that moment. You're a gamer or you tense up.
You're a gamer or you're a goner.
Or you're a goner. And you tense up sometimes in those moments. This is why sometimes you have it happens in all sports, Austin. That's the same thing in a last second shot. It's the same thing in a free throw where these free throws are either going to get us in it or they're going to win it or they're going to close it out. That's the difference of being gamer. That's the same thing where in baseball you have a bases loaded situation where, this hit here can determine. And it was beautiful for me to watch one of my teammates in the minor leagues be in that moment and win. But it's one that you dream about and you'll never forget. Either way, you'll never forget because you wish you can recapture it. You wish you can pull it back. You wish you could rewind time just to do it a little bit differently. Maybe I had something else I would have seen. So I think he tensed up in that moment because it didn't look like a confident throwing motion to me.
It looked like throw it up, give my guy a chance.
That was it. It didn't look like it was a targeted or it was I'm trying to
thought out.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It just was let me just get it up there and similar to somebody shooting a shot, just let me just get it up there. Maybe it goes in, maybe somebody rebounds it. That's just one of those things.
For your money, Strick, who was the best quarterback in the semifinals? McCarthy, Milroe, Penix, Ewers.
Penix, bro. To me, Penix. The darts Penix was throwing on a rope. I mean, I was talking to some of my friends, Austin, and I'm going to throw this player out, and I'm going to see what you say. Now, let me say this. Sauter Heyman text line as well. I'm going to talk to DP, and we may get somebody, and I'm going to see if there's something I can give away. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can give away something. But I want to do a trivia, and we'll do it again. I'm going to put it out here now.
Okay.
And we'll just one way. I'm gonna see if I can get something to give away, or it's just gonna be a fun little quick trivia question. There was a person that I said Michael Penix was looking like, the way he was throwing balls, the way he was getting out of the pocket and resetting and firing. There was one player in the past that he looked like to me. Off air, I'll get your answer. But
if you remember the clip or you can find it, text in. You're the winner.
Yo, listen, Michael, there's a player, former NFL guy, former college great, that Michael Penix to me looked like without one element, and that's his feet. That's the only element that I couldn't say there was commonality to, but that arm and reading the situations. I remember one where I think they might have been on the 20-yard line. I got pretty good play recall, but they would have been on the 20-yard line. Looked like it looked like they were in a cover 2. Texas was in a cover 2. Safeties slightly parted. It looked like 3 wide receiver set with a slot guy. Slot guy ran kind of not a skinny post, probably a regular post, and got right into that middle, and he fired it right between the guys before they could get there. It's like he knew.
Oh, that last touchdown, right?
The one where he ran like a post, and and
split two defenders and the ref.
Yeah, man, listen, that's special on a rope. So who is the guy? Who is the quarterback that I'm talking about that y'all would say that Michael Penix was looking like with his arm?
Let's run through the quarterbacks here in these games straight. I think Penix is the right answer, right? He was balling. It's those deep throws. I mean, kind of got lucky on the one that got deflected that Polk ended up catching, but hey, better lucky than good sometimes, right? That's what it comes down to.
It was still there.
It was.
It's just the defense was just really, got a hand on it. I thought it was a great effort on defense. Go ahead.
Ewers struggled but came back. That first half, not very good for Quinn Ewers at all.
70 yards.
Right. When he needed to respond, though, again, aside from that final throw, he pretty much did. He ends the night 24-43 for 318 yards, the one touchdown on the quick fade there to A.D. Mitchell. I would rank them this way, Strick. Penix at 1. I'm going to put McCarthy at 2. Not just because his team won the game. He, again, threw some lasers, got a little lucky. The one that went to Wilson for like 29, 30 yards, tipped by 32 for Alabama, but still got there. That tells me it had good velocity, and he has the arm to get it through. Almost had disaster on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
Trying to make something happen when there's nothing available. He's just lucky the guy didn't reestablish position. Otherwise, we might be talking about a completely different ball game. But Strick, what stands out to me about J.J. McCarthy was the poise when his team was down. They needed that drive down 20-13, had to have it, and they got it. J.J. McCarthy looked good there. Used his feet too, right? Not a lot, but just enough to keep Alabama honest. I think Jalen Milroe had the toughest task of anyone, right? Bama's defense is really good, but Bama's defense isn't as good as Michigan's this year. McCarthy played well against a good defense, not an absolute top-tier elite defense. Milroe, 16 of 23 for 116 through the air, but 21 carries for 63 yards, Strick. He was sacked 5 times, and yet at the end of the game, what is Michigan saying? We knew he was going to get the ball because he's their best player. That's the level of respect Michigan had for Jalen Milroe, who, even though the numbers aren't that gaudy, I thought still played a pretty darn good football game.
Yeah, I do too. Listen, there's nothing I can say, comeback player of the year, who I thought he did based on where he started into how he finished. They don't win the SEC championship game without Jalen Milroe.
No, they don't get there without Jalen Milroe.
It's not even close. So I will say that at the skill positions, Alabama doesn't have the level that Jameson Williams and
not what they have.
They don't, not what they've had in the past. Not the stuff that Bryce Williams was having.
Or Tua or Mac Jones.
You know what I'm saying?
Any of them.
They don't have those levels. And
Hurts.
For them to manage that, I've got to give a shout out to Jalen Milroe for just his ability to navigate it, to understand that I don't have this, but let me figure out how we can use it still to our advantage to be successful. And he knew when to use his feet, how to use his feet. I was impressed. I just was impressed. And listen, I don't care what anybody says. This is a great way, I think, for the college football playoff in the semifinal. That was one of the best semifinals in the 4-team era to me.
Last year and this year were both really good. If you look at Georgia, Ohio State, and Michigan, TCU last year, mean, Strick, we had a lot of blowouts the first 7-8 years of this thing. The last 2 years, the semifinals have absolutely delivered. You have a 3-point game and a 6-point game. Last year, you have, what would this be, a 7-point game and a 6-point game this year? Incredibly well done. And this is where I'll echo what you said. It stinks that Florida State got hosed, but because they put Alabama in, I think we got 2 elite college football games.
No question. I would have been disappointed had and I'm going to be honest. Again, we're going to say that quarterbacks matter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this isn't no wokeism statement. That's just, it isn't a protection statement because I was watching videos, Austin, yesterday of freaking NFL. I wish you guys could go back, man. Just YouTube old videos of quarterbacks and the punishment they used to take back in the day. And it ain't so me saying quarterbacks matter don't come from that statement. I'm saying, boy, gosh, they used to get murdered. I'm saying quarterbacks from the standpoint of the success of your team and your program is significantly greater with great quarterback play. Go ahead.
We'll get to that. I found some astounding recruiting numbers on that. We're going to keep talking some college football playoff here in a little bit when it comes to recruiting and great quarterbacks and just how much, not just a good, but elite quarterback can elevate a team. We've seen that with Washington. We've seen that with some of the peak Clemson teams. There's some really interesting numbers to get to on that. We'll talk special teams in a little bit because both winners almost lost due to their special teams. Michigan, 2 mistakes. Washington, a key one. But for now, we're going to take a break and play the shootout with Strick. 402-464-5685. $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings is the prize, a gift card, gift certificate for you. All you have to do is take down Strick in a game of trivia. We'll step aside. When we get back, we will play the shootout with Strick.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of your liberty in pursuit of your justice for those that have been injured. My name is Matt Knight, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our relentless trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for a new spot to relax and unwind? The Post, located on the south side of the Telegraph District on the corner of 20th and N Street, is perfect for a group hangout or a relaxing evening. The Post has plenty of exciting events open to the public, like Whiskey Wednesday and poker tournaments on Sundays. Looking for a spot for a private event? Ask them about their indoor patio. The Post, located at 20th and N Street in Lincoln. Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Erick Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
Let's do it. Let's play the Shootout with Strick. Proudly brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings. Find them down at 40th and Old Cheney here in Lincoln. Spot I went more than my fair share of times when I lived on that side of town. Now it's very far away, and if I had a $30 gift card, I would be down there in a heartbeat. But I don't. I can't win something that we're giving away. That would be unfair. That'd be tampering, cheating, and something that is definitely not allowed. So yes, no cheating allowed. You can't Google Stricky here, even though he gets his questions first. Let's go to our Honda of Lincoln hotline for the Shootout with Strick. Let's welcome in Dave. Dave, how are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
Having a good start to your new year, Dave?
Well, yeah, slow but sure.
All right, let's see if we can pick it up a little bit, put some excitement in there with a win in the Shootout with Strick. Hold on the line here, Dave. We'll give Strick his questions first and then get to you.
Okay.
All right, Stricky, we're doing Washington and Michigan trivia, the two teams that will be playing in the national championship game 1 week from tomorrow, or from yesterday. Sorry, 1 week from yesterday. Are you ready for your round of the shootout here, my friend?
Let's go.
All right. Starts in 3, 2, and 1. He's thrown for the most yards in Michigan history. Devin Gardner or Chad Henne?
Henne.
It's Henne. He's rushed for the most yards in Wisconsin history. Bishop Sankey or Myles Gaskin?
Gaskin.
It's Gaskin. He's the only receiver with over 3,000 yards in Michigan history. Mario Manningham or Braylon Edwards?
Manningham.
It's Edwards. And he's won the most games of any Michigan head football coach.
Bo Schembechler.
Bo Schembechler, the guess, and Stricky dominates. That's a 4-point round only missing on Edwards and Manningham. Heck of a way to start the year, Stricky. Look at you go.
I told you it's about taking care of business mafioso style.
All right, Dave, you need 4 to tie, a perfect round to win. Are you ready for your shot at the shootout?
Can we switch it to Nebraska trivia?
It is too late for that. I'm sorry. Are you still willing to give it a shot?
All right. Yep.
Okay, your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He's thrown for the most yards in Washington history. Jake Browning or Michael Penix Jr.?
Let's go with the first one.
Yep, it is Browning. He's rushed for the most yards in Michigan history. Mike Hart or Denard Robinson?
What's Robinson?
It's Hart. He's caught the most touchdowns in Washington history. Romo Dunze or Jermaine Kearse?
So what's the last one?
It is Kearse, and then he's won the most games of any Washington head football coach.
Oh, wow.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I can't think of anybody.
That's all right. Time runs out, Dave. A valiant effort, Stricky. I am late on the ball. You don't have your music today, but just know that you're the champ. I'll give you these just for fun.
Boom shakalaka!
Give me a hell yeah!
Just for you, Stricky.
I said give me a hell yeah!
Stricky pounding the 2 T's together to get that voice feeling better. Dave, the answer was Don James. I appreciate your effort. Thanks for playing. Oh, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Stricky starts the year off on the right note.
On a
Way to go,
winning
Stricky.
note. Yes, I'm excited about it. I'm hoping that these Huskers tomorrow, as they play Indiana, will be able to start the new year off with a victory as well.
Indeed. We will talk more about that game tomorrow as the Huskers get back into conference play. We still have the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings to get away. Let's do texter number 9 because both JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix wear number 9. Okay, so texter number 9 with the right answer, over or under, will win the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. All right, Strick, your question. How many combined conference championships do Michigan and Washington claim? How many combined conference championships do Michigan and Washington claim? Conference, not national.
$31.
All right, Stricky says 31. Texter number 9 with the right answer, either over 31 or under 31, will win the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Get your answers in here throughout the break. We'll give you the answer and dive into plenty more college football discussions. Lots still to go over. A lot of headlines from the college football playoff semifinals, also the New Year's Six, and then the future Big Ten beat the future SEC. Is that a one-year blip, or is that a sign of things to come? We will dive into all of that and more as we continue the first show of 2024 here during On the Block. Back in a sec.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Erick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy new year. They are thankful for many things from 2023 and hope that 2024 brings prosperity for you and starts off well for everyone in your life. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Erick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Erick Services, on the air because they care.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group are Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Are you looking for a new spot to relax and unwind? The Post, located on the south side of the Telegraph District on the corner of 20th and N Street, is perfect for a group hangout or a relaxing evening. The Post has plenty of exciting events open to the public, like Whiskey Wednesday and poker tournaments on Sundays. Looking for a spot for a private event? Ask them about their indoor patio. The Post, located at 20th and N Street in Lincoln.
This is Jeff Essink, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly sunny skies. We'll see the afternoon high of around 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with patchy fog is possible. Late, we'll see a low around 20. And tomorrow, more patchy, even freezing fog possible as well, especially in the morning. Then mainly sunny skies with the high around 35. Meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of the new year comes your way here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Don't forget, we do have a new Twitter account for everything On the Block. It's at On the Block 937 on Twitter. Give it a follow. You'll find the ways to follow Strick and myself there as well. He's Erick Strickland. I'm Austin Norman, by the way. Strick, 1 year ago today, my first day at the Ticket. It's been a year, a full year of On the Block. It's been fun. It's been a wild ride. Thanks for welcoming me in. I appreciate everything, man.
No, man. It's just, like I said before, it's been an awesome thing to just watch how you've grown and how it's like meeting a new family member, or it's like going to a new city or a new state or going to a new high school. And then you're coming into a group, and it's not easy. It's not hard. And then I think we've became a really good team over the course of time, and it's been great.
Stockton and Malone wish they were us.
Oh, man, no doubt.
Plain and simple.
No doubt.
We couldn't do it without you listeners as well. We hope you're having a great start to your 2024. We appreciate you making us a part of your days as well. We're here from 2 to 4 Central every day on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Jumping back into some college football action here in just a sec. If you've got any thoughts on the college football playoff semifinals, Michigan, Alabama, and Washington, Texas, let us know. 402-464-5685. Who was the best quarterback in those games? Who looked like the best team? And who's your pick to win it all? Michigan and Washington. Give us those thoughts. We'll get to them. Christmas is over. Not the 12 days of Christmas, right? That's the 12 days after Christmas. But Santa Stricky Claus, which do you want to go by?
Stricky Claus.
You're Stricky Claus?
I'm Stricky
Claus. Okay,
Claus.
Stricky Claus in a generous mood. Giving away the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings to Levi. Congratulations. The question was, how many combined conference championships have Michigan and Washington won? Stricky's guess was?
36, I think. 38?
31?
30 something.
Mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Regardless, it was low. The answer was over. 65 combined conference championships, 45 for Michigan, 20 from Washington.
I couldn't believe it was that. I mean, I knew Michigan had a lot, but I didn't realize, but it's that big of a number. But then I started remembering, you go back to the time of when the beginning of football, they were doing it back then, early years of football. So yeah, I didn't take that into account.
The other thing that Stricky Claus gave away was a Heavenly Waffles prize pack to the player, or the person who can name the player that Michael Penix reminded Stricky of. Strick, we had the answer from Earthquake Glue. Who does Michael Penix remind you of, minus the lakes, like you said?
Michael Vick. He was out there just, it didn't matter if he was off balance, body turned, stepping into it. Them balls was coming out on a line. Now, listen, I don't even think he's on the level of Michael. Michael Vick had a rocket,
and he's known for his legs, but his arm.
But his arm was his arm. He could throw off the run 70, 80 yards. He could be running and literally just whip the thing and it'd be on a dime too. I don't think Michael Vick gets enough credit for how good of a quarterback he really was. He was special. If you guys, especially you young players or you young listeners, if you love and think Lamar Jackson is a phenom, go back and watch Michael Vick. Oh my! And
that's not saying Lamar's not good.
Nothing,
Lamar's that dude, but Michael Vick was extra that dude.
Michael Vick was pay-per-view TV when you got to see him play. I mean, obviously he had the scandal with the dogs and everything that kind of hindered, but then he came back and you got a little light revamping of his, his stuff. But it was in Philly, yeah. Yeah. So shout out to Mike.
We're going to dive into these college football playoff games here, Strick. Let's start with Washington and Texas while we're on the subject of Michael Penix. The strategy for Texas was run the ball, and they did that pretty effectively for the most part. They ran it for, what was it, like 180 yards, give or take, 6.4 yards per carry.
Oops.
We knew that was going to be the hindrance for Washington coming in.
Watch out for this next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Texas ran the ball pretty effectively till it got down. Then it had to throw the ball. Only 6 catches on 19 targets for Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell. Of course, one of them, the touchdown there. So credit Washington's defense for that at least. But the biggest issue to me, Strick, was Texas's pass rush not getting home. 2 of the best interior defensive linemen in the country, long, athletic, rangy, didn't sack Penix once. And that's a credit to, yes, the offensive line. But it's not like Texas didn't get pressure, right? You saw Penix on the move. You saw him scrambling. You saw him stepping up in the pocket. But that's maybe his best NFL trait, is how he navigates a pocket. He doesn't bail. He doesn't get scared. Even with NFL caliber rushers bearing down on him, he made him miss with in a phone booth, essentially, right? The quick feet, always under control, still staying in a throwing platform. That was an absolute clinic from Michael Penix last night.
The NFL scouts were raving. Like, if you would have had him down as the 3rd or 4th quarterback, you're having some other considerations now, because he showed a lot in that game. Management, reads. They weren't able to like bait him into nothing. Like sometimes you can show a coverage and the coverage you may think is what it is. I don't think that even happened. And I had Odunze. I had Odunze. Probably, I thought they would have really schemed him up a little bit more. It didn't matter. Like, that combination is one to keep your eye on. Now, Michigan is going to pose a way bigger threat in the run game than Texas would. But at the end of the day, I still think, I don't know if they have an answer for their wide receivers and tight ends. I don't know. So is it gonna be a barn burner, or is it gonna be just a knockdown, drag out, whoever has the ball last type of game? That's what I'm interested in seeing.
Speaking of Texas here for a sec, this did just come across the wire. Nebraska football is involved with a transfer wide receiver from Texas. Not Marcus Washington this time, but Isaiah Nair is his name. Only played in 1 game, 1 catch for 14 yards, but he came from Wyoming to Texas, where he caught 52 passes for 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns. Also ran the ball 13 times for 81 yards and a touchdown. So Nebraska has an official visit with a Texas transfer now that Texas's season is over. A couple other things from this Washington-Texas game, Strick, before we get to Michigan-Alabama. Dylan Johnson, at the end of the game, Washington just needs 1 first down. Texas has 2 timeouts remaining. Instead of kneeling, Washington chooses to run the ball. Run some plays, kind of like Miami did against Georgia Tech. It almost came back to bite them. They end up winning the game, but on that 3rd down run, Strick, Dylan Johnson gets hurt, gets rolled up on, needs to be helped off the field. And here's the thing, it gave Texas a free timeout. Washington didn't have the ability to decline the clock stoppage, right, because of this injury. So Texas got a free timeout with 50 seconds to go, when they would have been fielding the punt with like 15 seconds to go. Is that a rule that needs to be changed, where if there's an injury, the team with the injured player can either accept or decline the clock stoppage? Or what's the best way to make that work? Because something out of Washington's control, a player injury to one of its most important players, right? Not that they ran the ball super well or have all year, but Dylan Johnson, at his best, has provided a crucial element in closing games out against Texas, against Oregon as well. But Washington almost lost because one of their players got hurt. I don't know if I like that.
Throw it out to the Sauter Heyman text line and see what they think about it, because I understand the rule could be beneficial or negative on both sides, right? So I look at it just trying to just have the 30,000 view perspective on it, and there's nothing in it that says it's like egregiously needs to be changed. But I can understand that you could put some provisions in it, but then they're gonna have to consider, what does that do to the game? Because that's going to require probably checking clock. When was the clock? Is it going to add more time to games? Which obviously we know that they don't want to do that. It's already enough having to go to monitors and do all the stuff that they have to do there. So I understand your point, though, because dang, I didn't even think about it from that standpoint, like accept or not accept. But we do know if there's a penalty or something else happens on the other side, there is a runoff.
The 10-second runoff.
So I don't know how you can make it happen, but it could be something that would need to be probably considered, because you're the home team. You're not trying to stop the clock.
No, it's your player that got hurt.
Yeah. So
and is there an incentive for the other team then to try to
hurt somebody?
Try to hurt someone? Right. That's just the thing.
You hope that doesn't come.
Right. Did you start it, when the ball's ready for play and run the play clock from there? You already started on the snap, right, to resume play. So I think you raise a more than fair point in saying it's just another complication in a sport that gets overly litigious as it is, right? There's so many reviews and stoppages that we don't need one more complicating factor. The biggest thing is, Strick, Washington had to make a stop, right? Texas was backed up. 65, 75 to go to win that game still. Washington could have, gotten a stop earlier in the drive and not made it so close, not let Texas get down to the 13-yard line. If they would have lost, though, I would have felt really bad that one of their players got hurt, and that's the reason Texas had all that time. So you're probably right. It's probably not worth that much, but even if like a 20-second runoff for an injury that can be accepted or declined, I don't know. Maybe there's a middle ground there just to prevent
what you
some
don't
of that.
want it to be is you don't want it to be a benefit to one side and not the other.
Right.
So, because and that's the way I think they look at it. They think it's a mutual benefit for either team if that just happens to happen.
Yeah.
This is why, but then the fake injuries.
Right.
But what happens is, I think on the other side, the way they eliminate it is they basically, once the ball is set, they then rerun the clock. So if it happens, they don't want to necessarily penalize the other team with time because it's a personal injury to the. So I understand why it's there, but I also understand your point. But somebody on the Sutter Heyman text line, let me see who it was. I threw this out. Unnamed texter 8058 asked how many MVPs did Michael Vick win. Now he didn't win any. He's been named to the Pro Bowl 3 times, and you got to remember back then it was so much harder to get Pro Bowl nominations and stuff of that nature. It was just really difficult. But he finished second in the most valuable player voting in 2004, and he had really 2 good playoff runs. The one where they won the divisional title, and then they went to the NFC Championship game. But yeah, he didn't win any MVPs, but you got to think about how many great ones was quarterbacking back then.
And then OG CJ says Vic wasn't as prone to injury like Penix Jr., who has been banged up, the ACL tear, a little bit of the shoulder issue he's had as well. Penix Jr. isn't huge. He's not. Like, he's a kind of taller Bryce Young, dare I say. Bryce has a little more maneuverability and, ability outside the pocket, I think. But in terms of stature, Michael Penix isn't that much, different to me than Bryce Young. He's a little slender, doesn't always necessarily look the part. But what does look the part is that left shoulder, that left arm, and that footwork.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a little bit, and I think this may be the only thing that may hinder anybody taking a long shot. They're going to do some really extensive digging and medical work and trying to figure that out, because you don't want to invest the type of capital that you're going to invest. First round draft capital is very valuable, and we've seen guys rise and we've seen guys fall because of it. And I think that's one of the things why guys have probably foregone these types of games that are to them meaningless, is because you've seen top tier talent draft status go from top tier to dang near almost nothing. And maybe don't even recover sometimes because of an injury that happened in a bowl game that wasn't anything. So I'm interested to see what this change into this 12-team playoff is going to do for that little piece.
There's an article that I added to our rundown, not for today, but probably for tomorrow from Yahoo Sports, about some ways to solve that problem that might be worth getting into later in the week. How do you get more players to play? But on the flip side of that, I think it was Jake Butt, the Big Ten analyst, former Michigan player, posted on Twitter about his injury in a bowl game, just how much it cost him based on where he was projected to be taken, where he was taken, everything like that. So I think there's two sides to that story, like all the time. As we're breaking down the college football playoff games here during On the Block, Strick, something I want to get into more as we get later in the week when we actually make our Washington-Michigan picks, but I think is just worth throwing out there. Washington has now won 10 straight games decided by 10 or fewer points, and they've all come this season. Close game artists. That tells me it's a veteran team. It's a well-coached team. And is Washington as dominant as Michigan has been? Was Washington as dominant as, say, Texas was at points in the regular season? No. But there's something to be said for when it gets late in the season, find a way to win, when you're not at your best, right? Yeah, Washington gave up a lot of yards to Texas, but they found a way to win the game. I think that's a huge credit to the veteran leadership at quarterback, an upperclassman-led defense, and just there's no other way to say it, a winner in head coach Kalen DeBoer.
Where did it come from? Was it kind of did you, my question would be, Austin, did you see it coming, or did it just come out of nowhere?
Washington?
Yeah.
I think they built a little bit, right? You give credit to Sarkisian after the 0-12,
yeah.
But then they took the ladder, right? They climbed the stairs.
That's what I would say. And to them, I think what I love about this breakthrough, we'll start with them. What I like about that is I love the fact that those teams that were there and that are now in the championship were teams that needed to figure out a way to ascend the mountain and get over the hump. It's not over,
right?
But they had been stuck, or they hadn't really been able to, but in their own way, Michigan in their own way, Washington in their own way, have been able to get over the hump. It had been for a while, Washington had been going back and forth, a lot of times coming up short against Oregon. They haven't been able to get through that. And then it was USC, and then it was,
Utah.
You know what I mean? So they just always were kind of finding themselves in that
make
Penn
the playoff,
State,
lose to Bama.
You know what I mean? That's what I was seeing in them. And so for them to get over that hump I want to give shout out and kudos to both of them. Those are definitely Alabama. Bama is a perennial powerhouse that has been their mainstay for a lot of years. So a lot of people had thoughts and expectation that they would probably break through. Then Texas has been down in the dumps for a long time. You're seeing an ascending of them to the next. So I'm interested to see how their entrance into the SEC changes. Shout out to Missouri. Just under the radar, played well, but gosh darn it. They came out of if you talk about a team that came out of nowhere. Mizzou. And how many teams would you say, Sauter Heyman text line 402-464-5685? Give me three. Give me three teams to you that throughout the season, as we close out the 2023 and now entering the 2024, what three teams that you just felt came out of nowhere? And what did you like about it? I would love to hear that thought, because Mizzou is definitely one of them for me. Who for you?
I don't know. I want to think on that. I want to get some ideas from the text line. Let's get to that next segment. Once we get some responses in, we'll talk about that. Your three surprise teams and a reason why. We'll wrap up this segment, Strick, with that Michigan-Alabama game. On the text line, again, 402-464-5685. Also, on stream, right? Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Leave your comments there, too. Brad says, Washington ain't ready for this. What is this? Michigan, their opponent in the college football playoff national championship game. Michigan kind of dominated that game, aside from special teams, that set Alabama up really, really well. That defensive line, Strick, was as advertised. You look at Stewart, you look at Mason Graham wrecking the game a few times here and there. McCarthy played pretty well, right? He wasn't necessarily the reason they won, but he wasn't the reason they lost after that rough play. What do you make of Michigan's climb? How much of an asterisk, how big is that asterisk with the Connor Stallions thing attached to it? And if you're a Michigan fan, is the stain on the reputation worth it to finally get over that hump and make it to the national championship game?
There's the word of, did you sell your soul to the devil?
Right.
That's probably how Michigan fans are going to be. they're sitting in line right now ready to sign the contract. You know what I'm saying? That's how they would feel. Could it be an asterisk by it? I think there probably would be an asterisk by it, but my thing is watch what comes out of it going forward. Because Harbaugh's been fielding some questions about, is this the final run? Are you done?
More Saban Belichick tie-ins? It's tricky. It's the longest stretch of Saban's career without a national title at Alabama.
Which is
they
crazy.
haven't won since 2020.
It's crazy. I don't know. I think Saban still has an itch. I think he still has an itch he feels he wants to scratch. I think he may be looking at this change as a new opportunity to do so. But I would look at Coach Saban and say, man, it's got to be heavy weight on him. He still looks good though. He still looks amazing. Like, you don't realize how long he's been.
Yeah.
Right? He still looks good. I do look at Saban and say, all of these crazy changes, adjustments, NIL, just all of the stuff you have to navigate. I would venture to say the purity of it for him may not be the same anymore.
It might not, but where I think Saban has an advantage over like Mike Krzyzewski or Jim Boeheim, guys like that, Roy Williams, when he stepped away on the basketball side, is strict. Think about just how many people are in that building for football. Think about how much money it brings in and how big the recruiting staffs are and the NIL departments. So yes, it's changing. The purity's not there for Saban, but he can pick and choose what he worries about. He has to be in the know, but the basketball coaches have such, reduced operations compared to football that I think as long as Saban wants to go, he can just keep hiring people to take more and more off his plate and let him focus on ball.
Great point. Like me, Marlon Brando. The Godfather. I can just hire a few more sentinels and a few more men that can take care of the business right here at the ticket on the block.
You sure can. The note I was going to get to on college football recruiting that stood out to me, Strick, from this Bama-Michigan game. According to 24/7 Sports, we have lots of friends there. We rely on them a lot for our transfer portal rankings. This Alabama team had the second highest team talent ranking in history, behind only Alabama last year, or 2 years ago, 2022 Alabama, who also didn't win the title. Georgia did. It doesn't feel like it, though, right? It doesn't feel like this is one of the most talented teams of all time, which goes to show you that stars matter, right? Having these high recruits got Alabama in this position. But you mentioned it back in the first hour, Strick. Milrow's good, but he's not at the level of like Jones or Tagovailoa yet. None of their receivers are Jamison Williams, Devontae Smith, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper level. Jace McClellan is solid.
Just ran off. Run that down. Run those names down again, just to get an understanding of what you were talking about.
Try to work our way backwards. You have Devontae Smith. You have Jamison Williams. You have Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones.
Jamison Williams.
Plenty of dudes like that. You don't have a guy like that. Jace McClellan, good. Not Mark Ingram, not Eddie Lacy, not Trent Richardson, not Najee Harris. There's no OJ Howard on this team, right? Really good Alabama team, highly rated, but where's that consistent impact skill position guy? Maybe the defense has it in Dallas Turner. Kind of a no-show yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't see like the Will Anderson types.
Right.
Just those super. It just seems like a hodgepodge collective of just solid, great talent that's just kind of doing it together. I don't see no, because just remember, y'all, just remember how impactful Ndamukong Suh was for that Nebraska defense by himself. Now, we know we had great ends and your Grant Widstroms and your Jared Tomiches and Trev Albers and, Dante Jones. You can go back, great defensive ends and some great linebackers and Broderick Thomas and all those guys. But at the end of the day, bro, like, Ndamukong Suh was just a dominant force. Like, you don't see that type of impact on that Alabama team.
No.
Like Jalen Carter was
for Georgia.
Nolan
Smith for Georgia.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like even Mika Fitzpatrick from the safety position was a monster when he was there at Alabama. I just don't see that yet. And I don't know if I'm missing it, but I could be.
On the generational side of things, let's flip this over to Michigan and Washington that both come up in this discussion here, Strick. Okay, so Ari Wasserman, who writes for The Athletic, his big thing is stars matter in recruiting. The more 5 stars and 4 stars you have on your roster, the more likely you are to win a national championship, is his theory. How many teams, Strick, would you guess, since 2000, have won a national championship without a top 5 recruiting class in the previous 4 years?
I would say none.
The answer is 3.
Okay.
Because this speaks to your point on quarterbacks. Those 3 teams, 2010 Auburn, 2016 Clemson, 2018 Clemson. Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence.
Wow.
Elite, generational, game-changing quarterbacks for those schools. Is J.J. McCarthy that guy from Michigan? Jim Harbaugh thinks he is. I don't think he's at those guys' level.
No.
Michael Penix might just be. Neither Michigan or Washington have signed a top 5 recruiting class in the next 4 years, and one of them is going to win a national title. If it's Michigan, I think that speaks to identity and development, knowing who you are, sticking to it, making that climb. If it's Washington, I give a lot of credit to Michael Penix for being one of the greatest transfer quarterback additions in college football history.
You said it right there on your own. I want to give a quick shout out to Ernest Hausman. Got some impact minutes. Got some plays. He looked disciplined. He looked like he looked well more advanced than he did when he was at Nebraska. Like, it was just athletic, tactic, run, see, go. It just seemed like he was his lane rushing, and it's like he was well coached.
Some reading, some identification involved.
You know what I mean? He's playing in the biggest game of his life, and I'm proud of him. I know a lot of us may be mad and be upset by him transferring out, because he was a tremendous talent at the linebacker room that needed that type of talent in it. But I want to give him a clap, because he's a Nebraska kid, man, and it's good to see this young man in the decision that he made go out there, and now he's going to play in the biggest game of his life.
We wish him nothing but the best.
But the best.
We wish Washington wins. At least me. We'll get to our picks. We'll get to our rooting interest later in the week. Let's take a break here. When we get back, we'll talk about new Big Ten versus new SEC. New Big Ten went 2-0 against new SEC. Michigan over Bama. Washington over Texas. What does that mean? Is there something to read into? Is it a one-year fluke?
And I want to expand it, because I wanted to look into across the board, up and down the Big Ten, not just on the top tier, because you're right. I want to look up and down how they fare.
Deeper conference.
Who's deeper?
Mama, there goes that man. This is On the Block. First show of 2024. It's been a great one. Stick with us here for the next half an hour as we keep rolling.
Erick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy new year. They are thankful for many things from 2023 and hope that 2024 brings prosperity for you and starts off well for everyone in your life. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Erick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Erick Services, on the air because they care.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through January 2nd is spend $40, get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3. Also, get 15% off wine and spirits only at the North Lincoln location. Don't forget their 2 new locations, now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase a pre-owned combine from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
Are you looking for a new spot to relax and unwind? The Post, located on the south side of the Telegraph District on the corner of 20th and N Street, is perfect for a group hangout or a relaxing evening. The Post has plenty of exciting events open to the public, like Whiskey Wednesday and poker tournaments on Sundays. Looking for a spot for a private event? Ask them about their indoor patio. The Post, located at 20th and N Street in Lincoln. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. Don't forget, we do have a new Twitter account for all things On the Block. It's at On the Block 93.7. Head over to Twitter, give it a follow, stay up to date with everything happening on the show. 402-464-5685. Here's the question we're going over this segment. Which conference is better? New Big Ten or new SEC? Give us your thoughts. Give us your top few teams. Give us reasons why on the text line. Or if you're watching on stream, you can leave a comment there. Also, big shout out to Allo for sponsoring Channel 951. The reason I asked that question, Strick, is because we saw the new Big Ten win 2-0 over the new SEC. You have the old guard, Michigan, beating old guard, Alabama, and then new guard, Washington, beating new guard, Texas. Big Ten over SEC. We've talked a lot about those two conferences, being the ones that are kind of running college football right now, the way it's headed. We had that good conversation with the guys on the happy hour in the crossover, how it's the Big Ten SEC dominance and domination. recently, Strick, it's been the SEC winning the national titles. It's been Bama. It's been Georgia. Most playoff teams, usually 2 in any given year. Is the Big Ten catching up to the SEC? Has it caught up? Has it surpassed? Will the SEC fight back? That's my question, because right now, the Big Ten beating the SEC is really the fluke right now. It's been SEC, SEC, SEC. Big Ten hasn't been able to get over the hump. Is that tide changing? I say tide, obviously, no pun intended with Alabama. Is that shifting more to the Big Ten's favor, or is this just a one-off for the Big Ten? The SEC still reigns supreme.
I'm going to throw out a little theory here.
Toss it.
And my mind tends to think in an expanded way, not in a microcosm.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about the SEC is is something that's unique compared to the Big Ten. What you think it is? And it's just a thought. It's not a right or wrong answer. This is just a thought. What do you think the unique difference right now is?
I would say probably across the board, higher recruiting rankings, higher caliber, and higher availability of premier players.
Okay, that is a true thing. But here's where it is. You said it earlier. You said the one thing that's special about there is the Southeast, and that's where a lot of the huge swath of the talent pool is at this point. I think one of the problems with SEC thinking is they're locked on that. Because they're so Southern dominated in far as most of where their teams are. Probably one of the more northern teams is Tennessee and Oklahoma.
Yeah, Missouri.
As far north as they go, Missouri, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty locked. I think one of the smartest things that the Big Ten did was a national grasp of their conference pool, which gives them access to a larger swath. Now, we know that teams out of there recruit in different areas, but let's be honest. Most of them want to stay in that talent-rich pool.
Right.
They felt, SEC, that Texas, the addition of Texas, is going to take them to a whole nother level. Oklahoma, just staying in that southern region. They don't want to deal with California.
Right. Even though it's southern, it's western.
They don't want to deal with nothing west, nothing out there. This is why you saw the beef. If you go and look on the social media, you saw the Washington players going at the Texas because
Texas fan going at the Washington player.
They look, in their mind, there's cultural conflicts, a whole bunch. This is why I think the Big Ten could possibly win this dynamic, because even though there's a talent-rich pool down there, Big Ten has a way of just development and helping younger players to grow and become, but yet there's still talent. So they're retaining the talent that they have in those regions, but yet they're really developing those next level talent. So now we're starting to see some impacts in this, I think, in this bowl season, where across the board, I think that Big Ten has a better opportunity, because I think they're touching just more regions to be able to do it.
It's giving more schools more avenues for more players.
Yes, because why would you not want to play in the Big Ten, Austin? Here's why.
It's cold. Guess what? You play in LA now.
It's across the board. If you're a young man in New Jersey and you got family out on the West, they're gonna get to see you. You know what I mean? You're in the Midwest, you're gonna love to go down and play out there. You've got great traveling fans that are gonna love to go out, to the Northeast and get on boats and have fun and eat seafood, and you know what I'm saying? They're gonna love that stuff. And I think that's where it's gonna help in the long run. I think it's gonna be across the board, though. I think still the top tier teams are gonna be very dominant in those effects. And I think the SEC's mid-tier teams are gonna be a little bit lower. That's my statement. I'm sticking to it.
Let's kind of dive into those tiers here really quickly. Strick, here are my top 5 teams in the new Big Ten. Tell me if I'm missing anyone. Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Washington, Oregon. That's not in any particular order. Those 5.
Okay.
Here's what I have for the SEC.
That's top tier.
Yes.
Okay.
Top tier. playoff contenders year in, year out.
Okay.
SEC, I had a harder time doing. You have Bama,
Right.
Georgia. I think Texas, we'll see how they handle the transition to the SEC.
Right.
But who do you take over Texas? I mean, Ole Miss is the Penn State of the SEC.
Now.
Good enough to
But I
win
think
9 or 10.
I think they go down.
Right. And then I have Oklahoma in there, but I'm not confident in their transition. To me, Missouri's up there this year, but they're a one-year wonder right now. They've got to prove it. Arkansas, no. Mississippi State, not so much. Kentucky is Iowa, tier below. Florida, trying to get its poop in a group, trying to get something figured out.
I think they even go further into the dungeon.
I
To
think
be honest.
you're probably onto something. Vandy, nah. Tennessee, okay, let's do this. I will swap out Tennessee and
Ole
Oklahoma.
Miss. Okay. Okay.
I believe a little more in Lane Kiffin, especially because they've been in the SEC and done it, right? I think they're still waiting for that breakout. I think brand-wise, they're more in that lower tier that you're talking about, Strick. But Lane's still winning 9 or 10 games. I'm not sure Oklahoma will win 9 or 10 games for 3 or 4 years in the SEC.
Saw the him and text line. Austin Orman just threw down a gauntlet. How you feel about it? And don't take out your bias. Because we know we do not like Oklahoma here, you know, just from history standpoint. But take out your bias and how you feel about that statement.
But then, Strick, you're looking at that next tier of teams. For the Big Ten, it's who'd you throw out? Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Northwestern, Maryland, maybe?
Yeah, Maryland's definitely.
Michigan
Maryland
State?
in that group is not even, for me, at the top. They're like more in the middle.
Yeah.
For the group you just named.
Right. But then for the SEC, it's Mississippi State, Kentucky, Arkansas, Missouri, Ole Miss. You'll throw in that group. Man, I know that's a bunch in the SEC that gets some
UCLA
recognition.
even fits in that
UCLA,
mid-tier.
USC.
They could be teetering. They got to fix their defense situation. But yeah. But you said, say for us, top tier, Oregon,
Washington, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State.
Yeah.
USC has every opportunity to break into that. UCLA too. I just don't know if there's as many SEC teams knocking on that doorstep to take that step up, Strick. There'll be one. LSU,
That's a fact.
I guess you could throw out there, but
I love it for basketball too.
Talk to me.
They talked about the SEC and the basketball kind of emerged. No, I think that's going to shift. Right now it's Big 12. I think there could be some possibility because I'm telling you, to me, I think these kids like the fact that they're going to get to travel. They all have professional aspirations. Big Ten's giving them the opportunity to have a feel of what that's like.
Coast to coast.
There it
you know,
is.
3 and 7.
Yeah, I don't even really have to say it because that's it. If I'm a young man and and I know I get to go and play in Rutgers and go play out and even you
Rutgers is a New York City trip.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Yeah, you get to do that type. Go down to Penn State. And that's a nice little travel. That's fun. That's interesting.
Play in
That's
Chicago,
exciting.
play in Seattle, play in LA.
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
Because they were stuck. I mean, they were landlocked out everything west.
Right.
I mean, they barely went as far as Nevada. You know, I mean, because Utah's right there. So I mean, how much further do they go? Not much.
How long till we see a Big Ten basketball tournament in Vegas?
Ooh, Austin.
3 years?
I like
5?
the way you talking. I think it might be earlier than that. It's
2?
Yeah, because you can't go down Dallas. That's too far south. What about Omaha?
Sign me up for that.
Why not?
I'm there. I'm with
Omaha
it.
at the Century League?
I'm with it.
Man, you know they're going to try. You know Kansas City's going to be petitioning for it.
Kansas City's got the Big 12.
Get out of here. Just come a little bit north. Hang on. Indianapolis, garbage. Don't go do that. Come on over
How about
to
them
Omaha.
Colts, though?
Let's make it happen.
Sign
Let's make
me
it
up.
happen.
Yeah.
Why not?
Next Big Ten tournament, Omaha.
Yeah.
Bring it. We're ready.
Ooh.
Stricky and I will be there.
In the building.
Straight up. Good stuff. Let's cross it over. Jay Foreman waiting in the wings. Get you set up for Old School. Coming up after this.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly sunny skies. We'll see an afternoon high of around 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with patchy fog is possible. Late, we'll see a low around 20. And tomorrow, more patchy, even freezing fog possible as well, especially in the morning. Then mainly sunny skies with the high around 35. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase a pre-owned combine from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go. We're back on the block one final time for our first show of the year. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland, joined by Jay Foreman. What's up, Jay?
Not much, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year indeed.
Jay,
Don't even seem like it, though.
It don't, man. I've been watching just a whole bunch of Netflix joints, man.
Yeah, you ain't got no choice.
Just sitting
Your
around.
boy
run.
He was
Like
riding
I
out,
was
wasn't
getting
he? Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've been binging like a mug, just some shows.
Yeah.
You know what I watched?
What?
You saw the Squid Game, right?
Yeah.
I saw they got the one where it's like real life.
Oh, you watched that? Was it
didn't
good?
watch it. It actually was not bad.
Not bad.
It was, obviously if you've seen the movie, you see, but I was actually like, oh wow, like the storylines in it, it was kind of good.
Yeah. Make you appreciate it a little
I thought
bit
it was
more.
going to be corny.
Yeah.
When I said I'm going to watch it, but then I kind of got, I'm like, oh, okay, I like what they're doing. But anyway, let's get to it.
Last night's games, yesterday's games, best semifinals in college football playoff history?
Off the top of my head, I think it's definitely, they got it right. They got the 4 right.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably argue with you that even though now I like Bama, I like Bama and Georgia. I love Nick Saban. Kevin Steele's there. Todd Grantham is one of my good friends. He was a defensive coordinator or defensive coach there. I could still argue that Georgia is I think the better team than Bama.
Sure.
Like Georgia, but also I feel like Alabama lost that game. They just Tommy Reese is just not ready. He went. Right. He's not ready. Coaching at Notre Dame.
That's a fact.
And coaching those type of players and coaching at Alabama is just not there. And then I think his lack of experience as a coordinator trickled down to his quarterback, who has a lack of experience in himself, and it's different playing against a team. You got to think Jalen Milroe has seen Alabama before with his own eyes last year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even though you lost, you've seen him. He's never seen Michigan before.
No.
So it's a totally different mindset, and he didn't have anybody to lean on, and I think that's what really hurt, plus the center. But I do think it's the most competitive, and you couldn't lose, especially if Georgia's number 5. So if Georgia's in, Alabama's out, it's the same conversation. I think it's the most competitive, and I think it's the best matchups they had. Now, I would have liked those two to be on the opposite ends
and come in the championship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think sometimes the first game is the hardest game because you can see the end. It's kind of like when we would be playing in the Big 12 championship, and we know if we win, we're going to national championship. It's kind of that, and if you're playing against a good opponent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll talk more about that on Old School, so we'll save some of that for later. Let's get into what Strick and I were talking about a little bit. New Big Ten beat new SEC. Michigan over Bama, Washington over Texas. What I threw out to Strick and want your thoughts on, who's better positioned for the future? Was this a blip for the Big Ten? Is the SEC still king? Or is the Big Ten finally making its statement, we're here, we're coming for the crown, we're passing you? Well,
it kind of depends, because you would think that the team that you could somewhat depend on to be able to play really good defense and keep an SEC school within close proximity on the scoreboard with a freshman quarterback playing would have been Iowa, and they got blown out the water. But then you see Northwestern, where you're like, okay, they have a month off or a few weeks off. They're playing Utah, who up until they got a rash of injuries and they haven't Utah'd all year.
Right.
You thought maybe they would be in the college football playoffs. Northwestern beats them. So I think the Big Ten, with the additions of Oregon, especially Washington, because I think they're built for the future as well. And you see with the transfer portal. And I think UCLA is probably built a little bit better for the Big Ten than USC right now. But I think USC will bring that type of like Purdue factor.
Yeah.
Throw it around, and if they catch you on the wrong time, they're going to light you up with a 50 burger. But when they go to Northwestern and it's November, they
Good luck scoring 20.
Yeah, they might just not score a point. So I think the Big Ten, the Big Ten editions where everybody sits right now, especially coming off I call it historic year for the old Pac-12.
Yeah.
They're in a better position to catch up. And that means close the gap.
And that was Strick's point, right? Looking at kind of that middle tier, if you look at USC, UCLA, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota in that conversation compared to, what do we say, Strick? Kentucky,
Ole Miss,
Arkansas,
Vanderbilt,
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Like the middle of the Big Ten seemed closer to taking that step than the SEC.
Yeah.
Even if the top 5 teams are comparable, the middle of the SEC, just both Strick and I, seems a little stronger.
And I think that bringing those teams in will also open up recruiting avenues as well, because then, so say if you're not like, even like for schools like Indiana,
It's unbelievable.
Like
this always happens, Jay. Every time
great
you come
mind
in
things
here,
alike. I mean, just imagine like Indiana, who they get Florida kids, but they don't get a lot of California kids that I've heard of, or like upper, Pacific West or any Arizona. They don't get a lot of kids like that. But now they have a chance, if they win a few games, to approach Erick Strickland, because you'll have friends that'll be going at Ohio State or whatever, or they're going to regular schools that you'll get to play on national TV in a huge conference. So I think that the Big Ten can gain ground because the SEC, they close their ranks because Florida State is begging. Now I would say that the Big Ten is more of an option for Florida State than the SEC. And then if Florida State comes,
oh yeah,
them Canes are coming.
You know that.
And if we get the Canes in Florida State, 2 or 3,
Clemson's
coming. Then Clemson's coming. Then it's over.
It's over.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID, and then Strick, I want you to give your thoughts on that regionality kind of the SEC. 10 seconds for station ID on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah, what I was saying, Jay, I was saying they had landlocked themselves because you get so happy about the talent pool, and you think, oh well, what greater talent pool could we bring in than the Texas market? So we good, we locked. And at the end of the day, we're close enough to we're close enough to Florida. We've already in Florida with Florida, so we good. Whereas I'm thinking most of these guys all have professional aspirations. What better way to get a sniff of that?
Playing everywhere.
Yeah.
I always laugh at, and I get it. I mean, everybody would like to play in California, back in the day. That's your idea, like in college, right? That's great to go out to those West Coast schools. But then I always like to talk to these guys that, like, they say they want to go pros.
In high school.
Right. I'll be like, you want to go pros? They're like, yeah. Well, what are you going to do if you play for the Dolphins or the Texans or Dallas and you got to go to Buffalo? You going to tell Jerry Jones or whoever I ain't playing because it's cold?
Yeah.
Bro, there's Hall of Famers that got drafted to Green Bay that went places and made it and are from Florida and all that. You got to do what you got to do.
Shout out Tyrone Williams.
Right. You got to do what you got to do. So you got to do what you got to do at college. Why are you going to worry about the weather? Does not pay the bills. And that's a bigger statement now than ever. You guys are getting exposed to NIL and business at 18 years old. So the weather, the like girls or the party scene, if you start talking about that at
you done.
You I know for a fact you're not going to make it. Right. And so now on
especially
the flip,
if that's the focus.
Yeah, if that's in your top, if that's in your top 5, in there, definitely one of them are going to be, or 2 of them are going to be way too high. If it's the 5 things, you ain't never going to make it, because what matters most is opportunity and exposure and where you can get developed to be the best player that you can be, and that's on and off the field or court or whatever it may be.
What's coming up on Old School, Jim? We're
going to talk about break down the college football playoff games. bowl games. We're going to dive into the Georgia Florida State. I think Georgia was there to make a statement, and Florida State was still crying wolf. And then it's a big weekend for NFL. There's some playoff games. Winner take all. Obviously, me and Austin are not on. We're on working terms, but not speaking terms outside of the station strict. And I'm definitely not talking to Jake.
Jake, who?
Yeah, exactly. Then look, man, it's a huge game for the Ravens.
Yeah.
And sometimes
the ref is garbage. That's going to be in the crew.
I was going to talk about that too, man.
All
It's at some point in time, like Steve Javie or something, you gotta just say, you know what, I messed up. Just it's fine because everybody see you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say he told me 70. 70 wasn't even 70 was at right guard.
Just coming in. Yeah, stop.
Yeah, I know, man. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we got I think we got the Supernovas. We got a big announcement for DP in there in the station.
Oh,
yeah,
baby.
Bump set Spike.
Yeah.
Old school.
That's
Coming
all
up
I
here
know.
on the other side.
That's all I
Stricky,
know. There
we're
we go.
back. We're rolling. First show of the year. Good to see you back, my guy. We'll do it again tomorrow. First Strick, I'm Austin. Old School comes your way in just a sec.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to